Hi everybody, welcome back to Pro Tools Music Production course here at Educator.com. From this lesson on, we will be covering audio editing in Pro Tools much closely. We will learn about fades, crossfades, clips, clip groups, editing clips, and finally the clip gain. In this lesson, we will take a close look at fade-ins and fade-outs as well as the crossfades. We will talk about batch fades and even editing crossfades. Fade-ins and fade-outs. All fades in Pro Tools are generated in real time. You can edit your fades, move them around, and you can even audition the fades. You can also extend by the trimmer tool. We will talk about each one of them. Let's get started. Where we find our fades under our menu structure here will be the edit. And if you go all the way down right here, you'll see I have an arrow, but it's completely grayed out. The reason because I haven't done anything on any of my clips. Just like we have these kind of similar situations, anything related to the clips before, I need to either select an area so I can apply and edit. Now it's not grayed out anymore. It gives me an option of creating a fade or fade to end. Let's talk about fade to start and fade to end. To be able to do that, let me enlarge this a little bit. We need to have a point selection with the selector tool. And if we go under the edit, fades, we can fade to start or we can fade to end, which is going to start from the same point to the end. It's going to be a long fade out. Wherever you select in area, of course the fade in is going to start from the left and fade out, it's going to start from there to the end point of my clip. Of course, most Pro Tools users don't go for fades like each one, the edit structures and scroll down. This is kind of taking time. There are shortcuts to that. If you select an area, let's say this is where it is, my edit selection. From here, you can actually use the shortcut of Option D to fade in and Option and Command Z that and Option G to fade out. And if we are in a command focus mode, we could do these actions by just using the letter D. Then instead of Command Z, Z will do the same because I'm in command focus mode as long as this A to Z highlighted. If not, I wouldn't be able to get that. We covered all these earlier in the one-on-one course. So it's highlighting right now. We can press on G and get the fade out and Z to get rid of it again. So this is one easy way to get that, but this is really applying when I select a point. If I select an area, then there's other fade features that I have. I can actually, in the command focus mode, I can just like press on F to have a fade in, and if I select an area in the end of the clip with letter F, I get a fade out, and Z to get rid of these actions. And if I apply, select an area, let's say for this fade in, and if I wanted to press Command F, then I have this like fades dialog box with a couple of things in here that I could actually decide what kind of fade that I want, that I could choose different fade, let's say this one, and press OK, so I get a different kind of fade right now. Those kind of things, and those could be set under preferences as well. If you go the preferences under Pro Tools or setup menu, you know that under here there's preferences too. There's two ways to get there, and you can go to this fade settings right here under editing in preferences. Right here we have a fades, fade in and fade out default fade setting that you could actually set the way that you want here too. Same thing for the fade out, it will give you the same dialog box. So whenever you do a fade, that will be the shape if you're using one of those more often. Usually when we do that, line is the pretty much the one of the most used one, but that can, of course, that can be the default. They can be completely different other types of, there are a ton of different types of fades that we could apply, depends on the situation.